it's, I don't know, like, they deserve so much more credit.
3 years ago, 2016.
3 years ago. They deserve so much more ticket sales.
Yeah.
For how much effort they put into it. And I mean, that's why stop motion studios are going away. You know, it's what? Laika and is...
got Laika, Aardman, what can't I think of? There's another one. Well, I mean, Wes Anderson sort of throws one together every once in a while.
That's Wes Anderson who randomly does one.
Right.
He's not a stop motion studio.
There are companies. Those are just the two main big production companies. And I feel like, in general, all those sorts of arts are kind of having a resurgence moment.
True.
People are starting to see the value in practical effects, with puppetry and with makeup and sort of like real life animation like this now again. So I don't think they're hurting, but
and from what I understand,
just more of a niche.
Laika gets a lot of their revenue from post theatrical. Like everyone buys their DVDs and stuff like that. I know. Ever since I've realized it was Laika, I think I've bought every single one of their movies digitally. So
yeah, I don't think I have Box Trolls because they only sell it in a set, and I own all the other ones already. So I keep searching every few months. Guys, release Box Trolls on its own. I'll buy it if you do.
That's weird that it's not on its own.
Last time I checked, anyway.
Yeah,
I'll check again right now.
But yeah, I really liked this movie. Costume design, I thought you would really like, since there was so much tweed.
This is like literally my dream job, is costume design for Laika Animation Studios. They do their thing so well, because tweed is a very specific textured material. You can tell a tweed from a fabric painted with a, herringbone texture. Yeah. And they are so good at finding tiny scaled down fabrics that appear to be a normal scale at the size they're working with. Yeah. Which is a really, really fun and often not thought of part of costume design, but fabric scale really matters. When they were doing Lord of the Rings, Gandalf's costume had 3 different scales, so when they were shooting him on the different sets, the material would look the same in each shot. Yeah. Because the scale next to the smaller actors' body doubling for the hobbits needed to look the same as the scale when he was standing next to the actual sized actors. It's like a thing. And Laika does it so well you don't notice. Like the costumes in Coraline were hand knit at that scale, which means you're using something akin to a sewing needle to knit.
Oh, man.
It's cool.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane.
So, hit me up. Willing to move to Oregon in a second.
The thing that blew me away, one was the scalp, with him like brushing his skin and the scalp moving under his fingers. But the other thing that blew me away was Susan's fur, which was very much made to look almost clay. Like it was not meant to look like fur. It was very artistically designed. But then there'd be moments where he'd get hit by a gust of wind, and each individual patch would flutter individually through the motion of the wind. And it was like, holy crap. Their understanding of physics is insane. There's a very simple scene when he walks his horse to that broken down cabin when he's first about to meet Bigfoot. Right. And he ties the rope to a tree and lets it go, and the rope falls and dangles naturally and comes to a stop. What? Like, that's stop motion. Yeah.
That's every single
natural.
Motion.
Everything
is intentionally
was
made, which is so impressive.
And I think it was their introduction to London. That skyward down in, and there was at least 30 to 40 individual characters moving around. And I'm sure they digitally imposed.
They do digital things, but they animate the things that they digitally add.
Like, there's no like CG characters,
right?
But like, I'm sure they were digitally
duplicate and things like that.
But I was looking at them; they were all individual characters moving individually
Mm-hmm.
and interacting with things in the world.
Right.
And I mean, that's 24 frames a second, 30 characters. I mean, I don't even want to do the math for how many movements there are for the, 6-second scene? I mean, it just blows you away. Like, I can't even put into words how impressive it is.
Seriously, it is very impressive.
Yeah.
I noticed they had a storm on the ocean again to use that beautiful water rig they worked out for Kubo. And
I mean, if you got it, rock it, right?
it's so impressive. Go watch, if you're ever bored, go watch Laika's YouTube channel. They have a lot of behind the scenes videos that will just blow you away.
Yeah. They had a little snippet of it in one of their YouTube videos, but in the credits, about midway through, did you stay for all the credits?
I did.
You saw the elephant? There's the thing of the elephant going through. Just watching how they build the stage in front of it as it's walking to be in frame. It was just so cool.
Yeah.
I loved the gait of the elephant, where it's just very flowy, and it was just so good.
Yeah, they another thing that got me right off the bat with this one is how much their cinematography is coming into its own. There was like intentional camera movement to establish shots in this, which hasn't been absent in their other films, but it just felt much more intentional. Maybe it's because there's more wide open space in this story, like you were talking about. But I mean, and that is just another logistical nightmare when you think about it, because the camera has to move at those slow increments, the same as everything else.
Yeah.
Within this physical 3D space. And I just like take cinematography and then double the work.
Yeah.
And still get cool shots. It's impressive with how much easier it would be to have a stationary camera that they're choosing to do.
I'm regretting that I didn't see it in 3D because ever since Kubo, they've been using dual cameras. So, like, I think what you were saying, was it Paranorman? It was Paranorman that did it. So it started with Paranorman, and so it's true 3D. Yeah, and I don't know. I regret not seeing it in 3D because I like 3D. And
I've got some Studio Movie Girl passes that I can never use because we're seeing movies when they come out.
Yeah. No, because I want to see it in 3D because it's one of the few films
made
that is actually filmed in 3D. Go see this movie. Yeah. It's worth the watch just for the spectacle of how it was made.
And it is a really sweet little story.
Yeah.
It doesn't deal in death as much as their other stories. So if you're just in it for like the I'm edgy factor, this probably won't be the top of your list, but it is a really nice, genuine little story. The acting, like, look up the cast. They always get really incredible casts. Super fun.
Yeah.
See it.
It's just a heartwarming tale. And Susan's just adorable.
Yes.
I love Susan.
Susan is adorable.
So do we want to hype up our next movie?
Sure. Why don't you go ahead with this one?
It's Hellboy, right?
Yes!
This month has been insane. Doing a movie every week is like blown my brain out.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But we're going to go see Hellboy, and I am tentatively excited. Because I've heard really good things about it, but I've also heard it's very violent and very gory.
I've heard that it earns its rating.
Yeah, and I'm not the biggest fan of gore for gore's sake.
Right. If it's justified, I'm fine with it.
Right. But I've heard that there's a couple scenes where it's like, oh damn, that is gory. So I'm tentative about it. But I love Hellboy, like the story of Hellboy. And don't get me wrong, I think Guillermo del Toro's 2 films in the venture with Ron Perlman are borderline works of art. Just his
borderline.
Well, I mean, for as much as a cigar smoking demon guy can be art, because Guillermo del Toro's vision is just so gorgeous,
and he has Doug Jones.
Exactly. Is Doug Jones not in this one or no?
I don't think he is.
That's a bummer. But I'm curious to see where where they'll take it, because everything that I've heard is that they stay very true to the comic, whereas Guillermo del Toro took the essence of it and then made it his own dark fantasy, which I love.
Right.
But the comic books are such a unique feel that I'm curious to see how it will all turn out.
And I do like David Harbour a lot, so
I do too.
I'm, hopeful.
Yeah. Again, I fear the trailers have told a lot of what's going on.
I don't think I've seen a single one.
Good, because the trailers I fear are spoil a very big plot point. Something that is touched on in the first two, but not capitalized on in the Del Toro.
Yeah, I think I only saw the teaser.
So good, because the trailers these days, unless it's a Marvel trailer, they spoil everything. And it's getting to the point where I don't want to watch trailers anymore, because I know that at least a portion of the movie is going to get spoiled for me. Again, another tick in the box for why I'll Team Marvel on this one, because their trailer teams are just... Whoever they get to do their trailers
they're doing it right.
Because it doesn't spoil anything. I love it. Anyways, Missing Link is a fun ride. Go see it.
For sure.
Laika deserves your money. Even if you don't see it in theaters, rent it. Watch it.
Right.
It's
see,
worth...
just trust us and buy it.
Yeah. You don't need to be
conservative. Send us
with your money.
$50 and we'll send you a DVD of this movie.
Send us 100. It'll be expedited shipping.
Right.
Nothing else special.
I am going to do one thing we don't usually do and hype 2 weeks out, because tickets are getting scarce. And if you want to be ready to listen to our episode when it comes out, you need to grab your ticket for Avengers Endgame now.
Yep.
That will be 2 weeks from Wednesday.
Yes.
So
it's...
Get ready.
The day...
Got Hellboy, and then we've got Endgame.
Yeah.
See them both. God.
The day the tickets went on sale for Endgame, I got my ticket, and 80% of the theater was already taken.
Yep.
It's crazy.
And they're releasing more showtimes, so check back in.
Yes.
But get your tickets now if you want to be ready to listen when that comes out.
Also, prepare for the movie. Do not eat before it. Don't drink anything before it. It's going to be over 3 hours long.
It's almost hitting 3 1/4.
From what I've heard from the Russos, because, we're buddy, they talk to me. From what I've heard is that there isn't really any time to leave without missing something important.
Which is hilarious, because if I tried to put on a theatrical production that stretched 3 hours and 10 minutes long without giving an intermission, people would riot. I have no idea how Marvel's getting away with this.
It's because we're all fanatics.
Yes,
that's why.
That's fair.
How long was Infinity War? It was only, 2.5 hours?
2.5, 2:45 maybe?
Sounds about right. 3 hours and 10. I mean, if there's a Marvel movie to be over 3 hours, it's this one.
Yeah, 2.5 Infinity War.
Yeah. So this is going to be the
so
final
if you want
bit.
to watch a movie that's 40 minutes longer than Infinity War was.
Oh, man.
But get ready for that. Our next 2 episodes, you know them, and then I think we get a week off.
Hooray!
So we can sleep and not spend more money.
So, 2 more episodes of this crazy marathon. Hellboy next week. Avengers Endgame after that. Do you have any final thoughts?
No. More jackalopes, Laika, that's all.
So, here's hoping that there's a jackalope in Hellboy.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say. Or Endgame.
All right.
Seems likely.
So, get ready for the next 2 weeks, because they're going to be rocking. This has been another episode of Casual Cinephilia. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Music by Kevin MacLeod, Quirky Dog, and Vicious. Licensed under the Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. You can find his music at incompetech.com.